Now behind each set of these barracks was a series of latrines. Those latrines were all connected by common pipes that ran under the parade ground, dove under the first tier, and daylighted in the moat. On the back side of the moat, on each side of the fort, were two iron doors that they would raise during high tide. The tide would raise the level of the moat, the water would wash those waste pipes clean, the waste material would float out into the moat and eventually be dispersed into the ocean once the tide lowered. The problem is the tide never rose as high as anybody thought it was going to, so that moat basically became a giant toilet. So imagine it's 1850. You decide you're going to join the army, maybe do some good for your country, learn a trade, earn some money. You have no idea there's going to be a war in 11 years. You join up, the first thing they do is hand you a dark blue wool Union uniform. Next thing they do is put you on a train. You've probably never even been out of your hometown before. You're used to the climate in New York, Massachusetts, and Vermont. Now you're sitting on a train with a bunch of strangers and you have no idea where you're going. You know you're headed south though, because it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and everybody around you is starting to smell like chicken soup. Finally you arrive in Florida about 2 weeks later. You're hotter than you've ever been in your whole life. You're definitely regretting the fact that you ever joined the army in the first place. You definitely don't understand any of the languages being spoken around you, and you're being bitten by every kind of bug imaginable. The next thing you know, they're putting you on a boat, telling you you're headed 70 miles west to help with the construction of a new fort. You've probably never even been on a boat in your whole life. Now you're sitting on a boat with a bunch of strangers. There's nothing good to eat. There's nothing good to drink. It's hot. You're wearing a dark blue wool Union uniform. You're getting sick all over yourself. It takes most ferries 2.5 hours to get out of here. It took those poor guys back then 2 days. Finally they arrive out here, but there's nothing here but a bunch of tents and a bunch of slaves and a big pile of bricks. And they say, "Welcome to your new home, guys. Start building." Only 1/5 of the men could ever get anything done out here. The rest of the time the men were suffering from yellow fever, scurvy, malaria, dysentery, you name it, they had it. It was a miserable existence. Pretty much the only thing they had to look forward to was twice a day they got break time. 20 minutes to themselves to lean up against a shade tree and enjoy a nice cold glass of water. Problem is, it's 1850. There's no such thing as a nice cold glass of water because ice cubes weren't invented till 1920. So they got a nice glass of tepid water, probably served in a lead cup, left over from the revolution, so they're going to go insane in 20 years anyway. It's probably got mosquitoes swarming all around the rim. Finally they lift that cup up to their lips, expecting a nice quenched thirst, and a southerly breeze kicks up off the moat and they get hit in the face with a breeze full of toilet wind. This place would have definitely been hell on earth for the 40 years that it was under construction.